Thank you, Chris, so much for being here today. Such an honor to have you. Can you tell everyone your full name and how do you help clients?
Sure. Hi, my name is Chris Doe. And the way I help clients, well, I don't work with clients anymore. So I have customers and an audience, but not so many clients. So when I started my company, I worked with mostly advertising agencies making commercials and music videos. That was over 25 years ago. But since 2014, I started making content on YouTube and then sharing what it is that I know with the world. And then all of a sudden, not overnight, but over a couple of years, a small audience community started to form and I started to serve them instead. In December 2018, one of my teammates, the creative director, he challenged me to stop working with clients. And he said, let's focus on this education company. And that was the last time we took on a client.
Wow. I was reading your bio. You said that making your first YouTube video changed your life and your business. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes. So for many years, I made commercials. So I'm a behind the camera talent, never in front of the camera. My friend Jose Caballé, he invited me. He said, let's make YouTube videos together. I was very reluctant to do this because I thought I had a lot to lose and little to gain. I also had this conception, wrongfully so, that YouTube is for amateurs and people who don't know what they're doing. And I didn't want to put myself in that category. I didn't see myself as a YouTuber. But we made a video and it started to change the patterns of behavior in my thinking. About 6, 7 videos later, I started to feel like, okay, we need to make some real effort to this. And I started to put real energy behind it. And those videos started getting watched. And then all of a sudden, I could see people showing up on a regular basis, commenting and saying how much the videos have been helpful to them, and how they never learned this in school. And so then it got me to like really catch the teaching bug, if you will, and be able to do this on YouTube.
One of the videos I love watching is about you explaining a Japanese concept, ikigai. Why is it so important for people to do what they love?
Great question. I think life is just too short. I think we get one shot at making our life and the most out of it. And I don't want to live a life of regret. I don't want to be on my deathbed sitting here thinking about the things I should have done and things I didn't do. And the ikigai concept is about being in harmony with all the things that matter to you, what you're good at, what you love, what pays well, what the world needs. And when you find that cross section, that intersection, I think you truly are living in your zone of genius. And that's why I think it's important for people to find it.
Now, you have a very bold statement on your website about helping 1 billion people. And I did just get my number from you. So, how did you come up with that concept?
Okay, the story is we were in a management meeting and there was some discussion slash argument with my management team. And they were saying, Chris, we're a little confused as to what we're doing here. Are we trying to make a course, a lifestyle business? Shouldn't we be making money? And I had to say, like, okay, everybody, just give me a second to think about this, because they were a little confused. Just imagine, like, they'd been working in the client service industry for 10 years plus. So this is a pretty radical switch. And they just wanted to know, we don't fully understand it, but we'll support you, but you just need to tell us what it is. And then it became very clear to me. I said, if we are successful, by the time Ben Burns' daughter is of the age where she's going to go to college, she could choose to go to our school versus a traditional brick and mortar school. And I could see that it hit Ben emotionally. He never thought of it from that point of view, because before we're just doing work. Looking at it through the lens of a child and saying, okay, in 15 years, are we going to be able to do this? And he started to tear up. So I knew something struck. So that night I went home and really thought about, like, how do I encapsulate that idea? Because that's a very long story to tell. So I came back to the office and I said, hey, here's the deal. Our mission is to teach 1 billion people how to make money doing what they love. But just the money part didn't sit right with me, because not everybody wants to make money. So then I changed it to make a living doing what they love. So each person gets to define that. So it's not all about money.
Excellent. Now, on your Clubhouse bio, you also say that you strip away limiting beliefs. How did you what limited beliefs did you have to overcome, and why do you feel it's important to help others?
I see. Okay, so let's just the reason why I say that is because more often than not, people think, just tell me what to do. What are the steps? What are the secret tools or plugin or your uh, texture cache that you're using in terms of the images that you're using that nobody can use? And you give it to them, and nothing changes. And I keep seeing this happen over and over again. What I've come to learn is before they're ready to take action, there's something that's holding them back, something they're not even aware of. And it usually is a byproduct of childhood trauma, unresolved childhood trauma, where maybe they tried something, like they tried a new sport and their coach yelled at them or benched them or ridiculed them. And so trying something new hurts them so much so that they carry this on in their adult body, but with the child's perspective. So those are the limiting beliefs that hold us back. Oftentimes they're in our blind spots. If you have a high amount of self-awareness, you might even be able to say to yourself, this might be a limiting belief, and how do I want to resolve this? And so for me, I had many limiting beliefs. I grew up in America. I was born in Vietnam. I came to America as a refugee. And so we grew up relatively poor and moved up the socioeconomic ladder. And so I'm inheriting a refugee's mindset, a relationship about money and entrepreneurship from my parents, even though I have no memory of Vietnam. So my dad's a conservative guy. He's like, work hard, do something respectable, don't take risks, keep your head down, and don't make too much noise, because people who make noise get stamped out. So those are all beliefs I carry with me until I become aware of these beliefs and start to change and reprogram how I want to think about the world. So for most of my young adult life, I wanted to be invisible because I was walking around with that idea. Don't make trouble, stay out of people's ways. And so I didn't have much of a voice. There could be a whole semester. If you sat in class with me, you might not even hear my voice. Literally, unless I was called upon to say something, I would not say anything at all. There's a good side to that, which I learned how to be a really good listener. And I learned to have conversations with myself because I didn't have any friends. That's just the way it is. And so moving into adulthood, I start to recognize these patterns and worked with a business coach who helped me to overcome a lot of these things, as well as a family therapist who unlocked certain things for me.
Excellent. I'm actually reading a book that Oprah, she co-wrote with a neuroscientist. It's called What Happened to You. And they talk about how we all have generational pathology that is given to us in our DNA from our parents and grandparents and so forth. So I really resonate with that.
Mm.
Now, I first learned about you on Clubhouse. So what do you love most about that particular app?
I have to tell you, my love affair with Clubhouse was not instant. I was like a lot of people. I was thinking, these are really poorly produced podcasts. This is total chaos. It's a jungle. And what is the point? Who has the time to sit here and listen to this stuff for hours? And you go through this like denial and anger, kind of the stages of grieving, right? But as you know, at the end of the grieving process is acceptance. And so I leaned into it. I know from my life experiences that the obstacle is the way. So when things aren't great and you complain about it, that's an opportunity knocking at the door. So then I start looking at like, well, if I don't like these things about Clubhouse, what can I do to be part of the solution and not part of the problem? So we started to sit down with my moderation team. We started working on content and figuring out who we were going to be on the app and how we're going to work with each other. And I think an app like Clubhouse plays to my strengths. I mean, in my former life, I'd be scared out of my mind. But in this life now, as a public persona, as a person who lectures all over the world, Clubhouse allows people to see you for who you are, because they're going to ask questions. You're going to be put in scenarios that you can't script, that you can't edit out. And even if there are only 50 or 100 people in the room, they get to see you. And so a lot of characters who are a little bit shady are being revealed for who they are. And I like that because I want to be revealed for who I am. Oftentimes somebody might come upon one of our videos and watch it and say, I don't like this guy. He's an arrogant jerk. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's a snake oil salesman. He's some fake guru person. But if you were to listen to me on Clubhouse and you can address your grievances with me, you can say, how does this work? Give me some evidence. Talk to me through this. I either can tell you it or I cannot. And so I think it's a very revealing experience.
Apps, I totally agree with you. So how do you generate leads on Clubhouse so that you can teach more people?
Excellent. I'm still working through that. I try my best not to be one of those pitch heavy people. And most of the times, people don't even know what the heck it is that we do. We try to show up first. Whenever you're on any platform, show up first, be of service to other people, give generously without any expectations. I notice in certain rooms, every 20 minutes, they're pitching a course, a webinar, something else, a service, hire me as a coach. It gets kind of really annoying because you haven't given any value. You're just slotting in a commercial ad break. And I find that to be very grating as an experience. My way of selling is through education. And so, like I said, there are going to be hundreds, sometimes thousands of people who are going to get to know you on any app or platform. And over time, 2, 3, 4 conversations in, they might raise an eyebrow like, how do I get more of this? And then you can very organically talk about what it is that you're doing. So the way that I'm using Clubhouse right now is to build my personal brand, generate awareness about who I am, and hopefully people who are resistant to myself speaking can see for themselves if I'm a good fit for them or not. But I am using Clubhouse to generate interest in the Futur Pro Group, which is a private paid coaching community. And since starting on Clubhouse, we've grown from 350 people to over 500 people, on our way to 1,000, I hope.
Excellent. Now I wanted to ask you, you wrote a book called Pocket Full of Dough. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. Pocket Full of Dough started out kind of almost as a fan initiative where I'm tweeting, I'm writing things, and people keep saying, oh my God, you need to write a book. And I roll my eyes. You know how much work is required to write a book? Are you kidding me? Just the idea gives me like hives, you know? Oh, I don't want to do that. So it's a way to kind of stop people from asking. We started a Kickstarter project to say, look, if we don't meet these funding goals, I'm not going to write this because there's no point. So we set out the goal of $25,000. And I thought for sure, we're not going to hit that. And it's cool. I'm going to go back to doing what I do. Not only do we hit it in the first week, we raised over $75,000. So now I'm on the hook and I actually have to write a book. It took a lot longer than I thought. And it was a very painful process, but I got through it. It's a collection of things I've learned in my 25 years of working, things on marketing, mindset, relationships, communication, things like that.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I wanted to ask your last question. Where can people find you online, Chris?
I try to make myself available everywhere. So on every social platform even with TikTok, I'm there. I'm at the Chris Doe, and Doe is spelled DODO, the Chris Doe. And if you wanted to find more about our programs and educational products, you can go to thefutur.com. The future spelled without an E. So Futur, if you will, thefutur.com.
Excellent. I just want to say, I love your hat. I believe God is the ultimate designer. Thank you so much for being here, Chris, and we'll see you in Clubhouse.
Okay, thanks so much. Bye.
Bye-bye.